First of all, I just want to say a massive well done and thank you for being here today. I think it's really important, Godwin, for you to share your journey, your story, how you ended up here, and essentially what makes you different and what you can do more of to empower more people within your area of work. So, first of all, Godwin, I want to ask you to tell me about your story. Tell me about yourself, what you do, how you've been doing it, or anything that you feel it's important to share.
Oh, yeah. So, Mr. Ashley, good morning. It's my pleasure being here today, and I really appreciate you giving me this privilege. And it's a pleasure. My name is Godwin, and from Nigeria, I began my journey in research and publishing, and that has really impacted me and gave me the leverage I have now. And it's like I consider it a stepping stone for me to do what I do currently.
Excellent, excellent. And tell me a bit more about, what you've mentioned some great stuff, but talk to me a bit more about that story, what you currently do within your work. What kind of things do you do in a bit more detail? It'll be great to hear more about that.
Okay, Rhea, you know, I help business leaders build system that predicts risk, uncover revenue, and ensure that the decision they made within their businesses is really impactful and it moves the organization forward. In other words, I use number to make system work for the business.
Excellent, excellent. And how long have you been doing this for, and what inspired you to get into this?
Yeah, I grew up in Nigeria. I think it's been over like 5 years now. And like I said earlier, my journey began in research and publishing. And I realized that in Nigeria, skill is really in abundance, but positioning and skills and positioning and leverage determines who wins. And I wanted to take this local expertise and then connect it to global experiences, then to ensure that they achieve the best practices that can drive a business forward.
Excellent. Excellent. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And tell me a bit more about some of the opportunities that you've had so far within your current place of work or
Yeah,
niche.
actually, I'm working with about five enterprise clients, one from the UK, three from the US. If I currently like I'm currently working with a healthcare service, one of the biggest clinics in the United States, in California precisely, where they are really struggling with the billing. Your patient's record is really scattered. And I'm building a system that ensure that the system recover revenue, billings, and then ensure that the practices is really smooth and then it runs smoothly.
Excellent. Brilliant. One thing that's been mentioned is that you joined through our Project Africa campaign. So tell me about how you managed to find us and what you've learned and what's been your key experiences.
Yeah, that's really a good question because to every story, to every glory, there's a story. I leveraged networking and I came across, I heard one from one of my friends. He said the man from the UK is trying to empower Africans to position for global opportunity. That was December of last year. I think almost a year now. And then I said, okay, so let talk to me about it. He sent me the link and I applied. And then what the man was really sharing is in his engagement and schedule was really, really every session I have with him, like a mind re-engineering. First of all, one thing I got from him is do not focus on income, focus on creating impact and value. That value, that income is a byproduct of the value you create for businesses. That alone re-engineered and shifted my thinking almost forever. And then from there, it's now guiding me into what I do now. I don't, when I go into organization, I don't go there aiming to make profit. No, I just go there to ensure I bring an impactful transformation to business. And then as a byproduct of that, income is just like a walkover.
Brilliant. Fantastic. And tell me more about what your main key takeaway has been in relation to working with myself and things that you might feel that other people that are listening to this might want to hear and you feel like you should share with them as well.
Yeah, they say your achievement in life begins from your mindset. One of the things you did was like a mind re-engineering, like bringing an advanced mindset and how global leaders think, not a local mindset. Then I should really be focused on creating value, and I should be just like addicted to lifelong learning, trying to upgrade myself, trying to see how I bring value to any organization, anywhere I find myself. And then that has really shaped my mindset. And ever since then, my life has never remained the same. How I approach tasks, how I see problems has really changed completely. It's really been amazing. I consider it a miracle, actually.
That's lovely to hear. Fantastic, Godwin. So
Um,
now tell me a bit more about where do you want to go? You're doing this amazing work within your current industry now. What does the future look like for you?
yeah, the future, I envision, business are changing, technology is changing, AI here, is disrupting so many things. And I see that skill alone doesn't really, is not enough, but transformation and impact does. And I see myself in my client's future. I build into my client's future and I ensure I bring the transformation and the skill set I have, the expertise and the impact I have and the transformation I have, bringing them into my clients and then building into the future.
Fantastic. Now, there's always one question I always ask, is what makes you stand out? There's lots of people I'm sure that do what you do, but why you? What makes, Godwin the standout person? Why they should actually employ you for their future projects?
Mm. Yeah, that's actually a fantastic question. In my industry, data analytics and automation, where we build system, you know, if everywhere you turn around now, there's data analysts everywhere. On LinkedIn, on trends, everywhere you turn, there's data analysts. But dashboard alone doesn't change anything. Having numbers alone doesn't change anything. But myself, from my end, I build system that not only see the present or the past. I see, I build a system that predict the future even before problem arises. Yeah, it's like driving. I usually think this to myself. Most organizations, they wait until problem arises before they take action. It's like someone, like a driver, driving who doesn't see the problem coming. But when the vehicle comes to a halt and the vehicle comes to a stop, that is when they take action. That is terrible already. By the time you realize that the problem has already occurred, it's almost too late. So my system predicts the future even before they happen. And then, and I give I build a system for my clients to predict the future, for them to take action even before they realize it, before the problem even arises. I build system that predict the future for them.
Brilliant. So you mentioned a lot about building a future for them. Why is it so important for you to build futures for businesses?
Yeah, you know, when you in your business, when you see problems, by that time it's almost too late. Revenue is lost, income is lost, sales are down, overhead is, in fact, there's complexity already. So I build a system that predict the future even before the problem arises. So it's really, really important that you take action before the problems arise.
Fantastic. And lastly, as you know, there's a Project Africa campaign where we help people in Africa learn digital skills so that they can essentially earn in foreign currencies. Why do you think other people should join this program?
Yeah, of course they need to, because like being in a having a global skill set in a localized environment is terrible. So what I will tell my peers or whoever is interested, I really have a future in mind, should invest in themselves, because any skill they have, they should take it to the globe where they earn in hard currencies, and then the gap is like heaven and earth compared to local market and the international market. So I really encourage anyone who's really ambitious, has a skill that is in demand, that should just jump on the program immediately.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much, Godwin, for your time. I think it's really important to recognize some of the things that you've grown in since we have been actually working together. And I will definitely have to endorse that area of learning, constantly building on yourself and wanting to understand. I think there's a saying, seek first to understand before you're understood.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that you are using that framework and that tool to keep developing your learning, keep developing your skill set, but also keep growing within yourself and others around you as well. So I want to give you that level of endorsement as well for your future campaigns, but also your current ventures as well.
Oh, yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Fantastic. So we'll leave it at that for today. But for those that are genuinely interested in learning more about our Project Africa campaign, we'll send those details in the message below, and we can catch up and learn more and grow more together. Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, Mr. Ashton.